For tonight, it's Kara who takes the tight crown.
Come on, Carol. You've earned this one. Congratulations. You're a tight.
So my name is Kara Lazauskas.
I'm Jessica.
And we're going to go through one of the ELDOA method stretches. This is for the L5 S1. So this is a very important stretch, especially when we're sitting down all day. Really need to release that lower back. This stretch is going to go work throughout the entire body. ELDOA method has various and a lot of formations, but we're just going to go through the one today. Big key with this is when we go through it, you want to be about 10 seconds at least going and holding the stretch. You can do it multiple times throughout the day to really help release that lower back pain and help relax your whole body, help it to work together. So you ready?
Yep.
Sweet. So Jessica, what we're going to do is we're going to lay on our back with our knees bent to start. Awesome. So Jessica, now that we're on our back, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lift our legs to the ceiling, both legs. Cool. And we're going to try to lock out our knees as much as possible. Awesome. Jessica, once we're here, we're going to turn our toes in, keeping our feet flexed. So I'm going to give you a cue throughout because we want to make sure we're always with our feet flexed or our toes to our shin, and we're always reaching for the ceiling. So if you ever feel me tap your feet, that's just me cueing you to keep reaching for the ceiling.
Got it.
So now we're here. Next step, we're going to bring both hands to the sky as well, or to the ceiling, placing our palms out to the side. So what this is going to do already is we're not only are we stretching the low back, but now we're also stretching the top end of the spine with the arms reaching up. The last cue here, or second to last cue, is you're going to bring one hand behind your head at a time, not touching the ground, but still reaching. So now our hands are reaching, keeping the palms flexed to the back wall. So we're reaching with our toes, with our feet to the ceiling, and we're reaching with our hands. The last piece is now, Jessica, bring your neck and look through your thighs. Good, just tilting the neck, look through your thighs, keep reaching, Try to bring those palms, bring those hands to the back room, bring those feet, turning them in, bring those feet to the ceiling, look through your thighs, nice belly breath. 5 more seconds here, keeping those toes in, reach, hands flex, reaching for the back room. Cool, now to relax, you're just gonna bring one hand up at a time. And you're gonna bend one knee at a time. Boom, and then you're gonna roll over, giving yourself a little hug, a little love to your right side. And that's one. And that is one of the ELDOA method stretches. Woo! Woo, buddy! Release that low back, baby.
Now, you said you can hold it anywhere from 10 to 60 seconds.
Yep.
And you can do this a couple times throughout the day?
Correct. So the biggest key with the ELDOA exercises themselves is that start with 10 seconds to get used to it, because I don't know if you could felt it,
Yeah.
just we felt like you had a lot to focus on.
Yes.
Like, okay, you're telling me here, now you're telling me here, now I gotta look through my thighs. Oh, okay, I'm shaking a little bit. There's gonna be a lot of shake in the beginning because it's not your average stretch. They actually call them exercises because it's a whole body movement. It's not just sit here and hey, let's just touch our toes. We're trying to open up the entire body, the entire spine, particularly in one section versus another, using the whole body. So start with 10, build your way up to say 20, and then maybe a week or two later you do 30, a week or two later you do 40, 60. Again, if you don't have time, do 10 seconds throughout the day. If you just have a couple minutes to get a warm up in before you work out, before you lift, maybe do 15, 20 seconds, work your way up from there, and then continue to incorporate more of those exercises.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. So one great 1%er, even before or in between some of these ELDOA exercises, is to work on consistently keeping your hips even. So we're gonna lay on our back again. And when we lay on our back, all we're gonna do is we're going to just shift our hips front to back. Now, there's a difference here is because before you start, I'm just showing you what step 2 is. Step 1 is you're gonna bend your knees. You can either use a foam block, but for our circumstances, I'm gonna put my hand between your thighs, and you're gonna give me a nice belly breath, spine to the ground, and you're gonna squeeze my hand and elbow as hard as you can. And we're gonna try to open up those hips first. Okay. Once we have the activation, because as females, we have wide hips, wide Q angles, and most of the time we get hurt because we're not strong here. We're just strong everywhere else, and this is what gives. So we're gonna strengthen here first. You're gonna give me 30 of them. So what you're gonna do is I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. You're gonna squeeze, 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 squeeze. Then I'm gonna say relax. You're gonna relax. I'm gonna cue you a lot by putting my hand underneath your back. If I feel we start to get the twerk team, we're raising our low back and we're just letting our butt relax, I'm gonna cue you, belly breath, bring the spine back down.
Pull the hips up.
Yep, pull the hips up. So we're gonna do 30 of those and then we're gonna get into leg lengthening. I like this 1-2 sequence because it's very good to not only get activation, but then mobilization. Okay. So always activate before you perform. So we're gonna do feet flat on the ground, a little bit wider than hip width apart right there. My hand's gonna come in between. You're gonna squeeze as hard as you can against my hands, trying to bring my fists together. Okay. And go. Relax. And go. Spine down, and relax. You feel how when you go to squeeze, automatically your first response is to lift your back up? All right, exactly. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to put my hand right here. We're gonna wind up our legs a little bit more. Cool, right there. All right, push against my, there you go. Now squeeze, squeeze, there we go. Relax. Again, squeeze, belly breath. We should be able, the goal is to be able to breathe normally as we squeeze here and relax. Okay. Yep. And squeeze. Yep. And relax. Squeeze again. It's both sides. Squeeze, 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 and relax. And go. Squeeze. Good. Squeeze, 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 and relax. Push against my hands, spine to the ground. Nice and relaxed. You can relax your hands. You can relax your hands. What do you mean? Yeah. And go. Squeeze, 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 and relax. Let's do 5 more. And go. Squeeze, 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 and relax. Awesome. Now we've activated. Now we're going to mobilize. We're going to bring our legs nice and long. And we're just going to shift our hips, keeping our legs long, up and down. So it's going to feel like such. Evening out our hips, just kind of opening up the joint area, especially those hips. This is great to do as a break in between sitting all day long. We don't want to sit more than 50 minutes. It's not the best.
Is this something that you can do without someone else helping you through it?
Yes. So the best way, and what I do, especially if I'm in the gym by myself, is I'll take a foam block. Or sometimes if you want to feel aggressive, you can take a couple of balls and put them together, a peanut. And you can do the same squeezes. So you don't need to have a partner. You'll get a little more tension if you have someone, but I'll use a foam block all the time. And I'll just put it between my legs and I'll do the squeezes. Before a leg day, for any lower body, especially back squats, front squats, I will do at least these 2 exercises and 1 or 2 ELDOA exercises, especially when I'm have very little time right now in my life, and then I'll get right into my lifts. So as long as you get these done, you even out the legs, you activate the inner thighs, especially as females, you're good to go. You're ready to warm up, you're ready to get going. How'd that feel, Jessica?
Not bad. Well, now, once we get past the squeezing part.
Yeah. Did your hips, big thing, especially with the squeezes, is at any point in time, Jessica, did you feel any pops?
No.
Cool. If you do feel a pop, but no pain, that's awesome. That just means you're mobilizing and you're opening up the joints. That's great, we want that. But if at any point in time when you're doing the squeezes, you feel a pop with pain, no bueno, we don't want that. That's actually a very telling sign. Pain is telling us something, we need to listen to that. So good, you had no pain, you had not a lot of popping, which tells me you're very tight. Because you do eventually, you do it enough, you will start to feel the pops and the opening up. With no pain, but it'll just open up more. Right now, you're just very tense and aggressive, which is not a bad thing. You need it in life, but you don't need it in your body all the time.
Got it.
Hoo-yah! Even though seals do not say hoo-yah, by the way. It's actually something that was made up. All right. Little tidbit, 1%ers. Boom. Yeah, so the first thing we did today with Jessica and myself is we went through an ELDOA exercise, just one. There's many of them. One of the biggest resources is eldoamethod.com. You'll find a lot of practitioners showing you numerous videos and different exercises. The one ELDOA exercise we went through was for the L5-S1, so right at the base of your spine, which is really good, especially that exercise for opening up, especially if you sit all day. It's really good. You just came off a flight. I'll do it sometimes in the back of a terminal. It really helps to open up that lower back so we're not having so much tension in the lower spine. After we did the ELDOA exercise, that one, we then went into activating the inner thighs, especially as females, guys as well, but as females we got wide hips, right? And we tend to strengthen everything except our inner thighs, which is why we have a lot of ACL tears and ligament damage, is because we're not strong internally. So activating those inner thighs, laying on the ground, getting those squeezes. You want to do 30 to 50 squeezes for about 3 seconds of a squeeze and relaxing. Then we've activated. Now we're going to open up. So we went into leg lengthening, opening up those hips, getting them even. I call it leg lengthening because we're lengthening the leg, but we're also evening them out. Because over time, sitting, standing, we tend to get either here or here. It could be minimal, but we want as even as we possibly can make it.
Nice.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Woo!
Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never strength.
Catch you guys
Catch you
later.
guys later.
Yeah.